Frank Drebin, Leslie Nielsen, is back. This time he leads a law enforcement delegation to Washington, D.C. Drebin is being honored at the White House by President George H.W. Bush, John Rourke. At the honorary dinner, President Bush announces that he will base his recommendation for the country's energy program on the advice of Dr. Albert Meinheimer's Richard Griffiths, one of the leading experts on energy production as well as an advocate for renewable energy. Dr. Meinheimer plans to make his recommendation at the National Press Club dinner the following week. The president's reliance on Meinheimer disturbs the heads of the coal, oil, and nuclear industries. Meanwhile, Jane Spencer, Priscilla Presley, is still trying to get over the end of her relationship with Drebin. Jane is also in Washington, D.C. and now works for Dr. Meinheimer. One night while she is working late, she notices a man leaving in a van. Shortly afterwards, a maintenance worker finds a bomb that explodes in the lobby of the building. Several people are killed, but Jane survives unharmed. The next morning, Drebin and police squad are called in to investigate the explosion. Drebin is accompanied by his boss, Ed Hawken, George Kennedy, and his partner, Detective Nordberg, O.J. Simpson. Drebin is unaware of Jane's employment with Meinheimer's Institute. He is also unaware of Jane's new boyfriend, Hexagon Oil executive Quentin Hapsburg, Robert Goulet, who Drebin immediately becomes jealous of. Jane informs Drebin of the man she saw immediately before the explosion. However, Drebin's jealousy ruins any chance of a reunification. Later that night, the leaders of the coal, oil, and nuclear industries have a secret meeting with Hapsburg where he reveals that he has kidnapped Drive Meinheimer and found an exact double for him, Earl Hacker, Richard Griffiths. Hapsburg plans to have Hacker impersonate Meinheimer and advocate for further reliance on fossil and nuclear fuels at the press club dinner. Meanwhile, Drebin and police squad track down the potential bomber and van driver, Hector Savage, Anthony James. Savage barricades himself in a house and demands money and a car when he learns that the police are onto him. Drebin clumsily drives the SWAT tank into and through Savage's house, which allows the bomber to escape. Drebin ends up crashing into the city zoo and releasing many animals out onto the streets of Washington, D.C. Later that night, Drebin attends a formal dinner and notices that Dr. Meinheimer does not instantly remember him, despite Jane telling him that the doctor has a photographic memory. Drebin goes to Jane's apartment that night and shares his suspicions. However, Jane dismisses Drebin's allegations as the further ramblings of a jealous former lover. A few moments later, Savage enters Jane's home and tries to kill her while she is in the shower. Drebin hears Jane's screams and comes to her rescue. Savage and Drebin fight, and Drebin kills Savage by sticking a fire hose into his mouth and turning it on full blast. Jane realizes that Drebin was right all along and the two former lovers reunite.